Hello, my beautiful friends and my fellow wild spirits and sparkly space blobs. I am sitting on the floor of my studio, just reflecting and feeling through, and I'm trying to just share insights and intuitive moments more naturally as they come in because often I will get these intuitive moments that I realize are really important to connect and share and can be actually really helpful, not just for me, but for anybody else who is moving through these waters, which I think so many of us right now are every day trying to find different ways to navigate and be in this version of the world. So the first thing that this is just feels like a breath of fresh air and I feel like I can breathe and my body can relax. It's just like you got to take some breaks. You got to take some breaks from trying to hold the world together and take it all on yourself. I know right now there's a lot of messaging that makes it kind of feel like you're not doing enough and like somehow you're lacking or you're not taking on enough of the weight of the world. And while we do want to be compassionate, proactive, connected, interactive with the weaving of the world, absolutely, we cannot take on everything, and we are not designed to try and control and manage the entire weaving of the world. So it's so important to take breaks, take it easy on yourself, give yourself moments where you can just breathe. Moving toward a more compassionate, caring world does not require you torturing yourself, honestly. And that equation is a very old one that's been around for many, many centuries. This idea that self-torture, self-repression, self-abnegation is the path through which we become better people. But in energetic terms, and even in objective terms, this just is not the equation, right? People who are really hurting and shaming themselves and torturing themselves are often the people who are shaming others, who are trying to get in control in a system that's making them feel disempowered. So, one of the best things we can do for ourselves right now is take breaks and remember that we cannot control the entire weaving and that being cruel to ourselves is not the same as being in control and is not the same as contributing to the humanitarian cause. I think that's really, really important. The other intuitive message that's been coming through so strongly is that a lot of us right now are feeling called to gifts that we have forgotten or repressed since we were very small. And these gifts are things that were so innate to us, we would never have questioned them when we were 5. We wouldn't have even thought to do it, but we were trained to put them away because it wasn't safe enough, because it wasn't adult enough, because it was too frivolous, because it didn't fit into the framework of your family system or your school system. And many of us are coming back home to these gifts. And I think sometimes right now it can feel like you aren't allowed to really take the time to let those gifts come to the surface and be incorporated into your unique weaving, because there's so much going wrong in the world. There's so many places of pain. Why does it matter if I bring these beautiful gifts that I've repressed and buried back into my life? It does matter. Once again, we can both be striving for a more beautiful world and care and put some resources toward that, and we can be compassionate towards ourselves. Jack Kornfield, a Buddhist thinker and meditation teacher, has said that your compassion isn't incomplete if it does not include you. And I think that's really, really to my point, that we have to do both and. In the energetic world, it doesn't make any sense to be kind to everybody in the world and be repressing yourself inside. And I think there is a direct correlation between how much we can contribute to this collective project of creating a better world and how we treat ourselves. It's a microcosm of anything else we're doing in our day to day. So the two things, taking a break. Sometimes you just need to take a break. It's okay. It's okay if you need to put down the phone. It's okay if you can't take in any more news right now. That's okay. Like, you're not failing. You're not failing people who are in need, and you're not failing yourself, and you're not failing anybody else by taking those breaks. And you're allowed to pursue your gifts and turn towards yourself and show yourself compassion and get curious about those gifts that are wanting to come up, because, and this is a really intuitive message that has been following me around. And like, honestly, I feel like my guides and just the spirit world has been like tapping me on the shoulder, following me to the grocery store. They are like, please, please, please just say this. And so here I am saying it. The gifts that are resurrecting or coming back from the hidden underground where we have maybe pushed them are essential to the communities we're building, to the next crystallization of creation. And it's not always a linear line where it's like, obviously, this skill translates into this part of the community. This skill translates into world diplomacy. And now I'm controlling world leaders. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes it feels like our gifts need to translate into a direct, perfect match for how we're going to gain control over a world that feels like it's teetering on the brink. But of course, we need all these different skills. And a lot of times we can't even fathom the way that those skills impact the people around us, have a ripple effect of helping others find healing, helping others be able to give. It makes me really emotional. And a lot of times we can also not see how a path is going to unfold. We might judge it as not valuable enough, or not proactive enough, or not giving enough in this moment, but we don't know how that's affecting somebody, how that's saving somebody's life, or contributing to a larger weaving. We don't know that. So once again, it's a both and thing, turning toward ourselves while also exploring ways we can contribute, obviously, to the greater world. And it's so important, if you are feeling the call to those gifts, those sensations, those things that are returning to you, to pay attention, because they are absolutely crucial ingredients to not only like the collective weaving, but to your life, which, you know what? My beautiful, sparkly spirit that's sitting here with me, that matters. Like, that matters. And we're all in this together. I'm honestly finding I have to take a lot more breaks right now, you know, and I don't always feel my best, and I have a lot of anxiety, and I do try and take on the great weaving of the world. I try to take it on, and I say, okay, I'm intuitive, I'm tapped in. Maybe I could just like go up in there into the intuitive realms and just like mess around with some of the weavings, and it'll be fixed. And of course, I don't have that power. I don't have the ability to stop everything from happening by controlling myself and by being on top of it all the time. So I have to come back to my strand, my thread in the weaving, and figure out how to be here and interactive from that place. And that's also what I'm encouraging. But that includes rest. That includes self-compassion. That includes curiosity about the gifts that are coming in for you. And that includes remembering that your little contribution does matter, and that in paying attention to that little contribution, you're actually energetically much more resonant than when you're trying to diffuse yourself into taking on the whole great weaving. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. I just got called to share this little message with you. And like I said, I think I want to be doing more of these intuitive little check-ins more regularly in this space. So if that's something that you are interested in, let me know. I'm also thinking about starting to do the 12 sign readings over on my Patreon, where I feel very safe to be like fully relaxed and open. And I think I'd make it a podcast style so you could listen while you're walking or taking a bath. Would that be something you would be interested in? Would you be interested in joining my Wild Dreaming community if I were to offer that again? Because I have been getting major calls to come back to my intuitive work. And I've been self-repressing that. That's a gift that's just always been innate to me since I was born. And I've been trying to be an upstanding, practical citizen ever since I moved to Sweden. And I'm remembering that for me, this kind of work, this kind of checking in, this kind of tapping in is what I'm made for. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on the monthly readings. And I also want to know what you're feeling, what's coming up for you. How are you doing? Are you taking breaks? How's your self-compassion going? Are you noticing you're trying to repress yourself or being hard on yourself because you can feel the density of the world right now? I would love to hear what's coming up for you. I love reading your wisdom, your comments, your insights, your process. So let me know. I hope you'll stick around. We are going to be exploring some really big energetics in the coming weeks. So I'll see you back here very soon.